All right, let's set this up in here. So the first thing we can do is declare a cell variable. We'll start with that, and we'll say cell equals TBL first row in TBL, first cell in row. And then we can loop through these cells. We could loop through the rows and then the cells in each row, but this is just as easy, and this will get them in table order. So we're going to say while cell object valid is equal to 1, and then we can increment this. We can say cell equals cell next cell in TBL. So this will loop through all the cells. Now there's one thing to be aware of, is if a cell is straddled, it won't have a paragraph in it. We'll consider that in a minute. So let's do this. Let's say PGF. And so what we'll do is for each cell, we'll say PGF equals cell first PGF. And then a cell can have more than one paragraph, obviously. So we're going to do a loop inside here. Loop while PGF object valid equals 1. And then we want to increment that just in case there's more than one paragraph. PGF next PGF in flow. And it's interesting that a cell is really a flow, and it's its own flow. And that's why when you look at a table in FrameMaker, you actually see the end of flow symbols at the end of each table cell. So each cell is its own flow. So let's just add another paragraph here just so you can see that. So this would be body 5. And so when we loop through this flow, then we're gonna end up grabbing both of these. So let's go back to the script. And what we'll do is we'll just do this. We'll just grab this and we'll do the same thing. So for each paragraph, we're going to grab the text of that paragraph, and then we're going to display it in the console. So let's do that. And so we need to declare a variable in here, and we'll call that text. And let's go and see what it does. So let's clear this out, and let's run this. And we still have that alert in there. Now let's just look at this very carefully. So we got our head 1, our head 2, and we got all 5 of our body paragraphs from the body of the table, but we didn't get the table title. So we're going to have to account for that. There's one other thing that we might have to account for too. Let's try this. Let's do a straddle here. And so now we basically have a straddle. So let's see what we get. And before we run this, we'll take this alert out. So the alert is, where is that alert? Oh, down here. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. We don't need that. Okay, so let's run this and see what we get. Yeah, so we get it, even though we have a straddle here, it ignores this, this straddle. So we get body 1, body 2, body 3, body 4, body 5. Okay, so we're getting this. Now we need to grab the table title. So let's see what we need to do there. Now what we may want to do, if we're going to process in order, if the table title is above the table, then we want to get that first. If the table title is below the table, we want to get that one last. So let's see how we would do that. So we are going to say we're going to do a test here. So we're going to say if table title is equal to constants, and then we have to find out the correct value here. And we looked it up, and it's actually table title above. Now this is wrong here. It's actually TBL title position. So if there's a title above that, what we want to do is we want to say PGF equals TBL first PGF, and then we're going to do another loop again. So let's just grab this. We'll grab this code here. And it's the same thing. We may have more than one paragraph in that title, so we want to account for that. So let's see if that worked. So let's go back to FrameMaker, and let's see if it picked up that table title. And it did. So there's our table title. So it picked it up. Now let's put it below the table and see what we get. So we're going to bring up the table designer, and we're going to set the title below it. Click apply, and now the title is below it, and if we run this, we're going to see that it's going to get left behind. So we've got all the body paragraphs, and then all of a sudden we have main flow. We don't get the table title. So let's fix our code, and basically what we can do is just duplicate this code, copy it to the clipboard, and then we'll paste it at the bottom. And this time we're going to use a different constant, which is below. And this will do the same thing. Now, if you notice, we have a lot of duplicated code here. So we've got this loop, we've got this loop, and we've got this loop. So we could break this out, and maybe we'll do that in another video. So, but let's make sure this works, and then we'll have the basic shell here. So let's clear this, and let's see if it actually shows the table title. There it is. So if the table title's at the bottom, we want it to show after all the cell paragraphs. If it's at the top, we want to show it first. And just for completion here, we'll actually take it out. So we'll say that this has no title. Apply it, clear the console, and run the script. And we shouldn't see any table title because there's no title there.